When it comes to emergency takeoffs, US pilots have a few crazy techniques up their sleeves to ensure they're able to safely take off and get out of harm's way. One of the most commonly used techniques is known as a scramble. This involves the pilot immediately pushing the throttle to full power as soon as the brakes are released, without waiting for the engines to spool up slowly. This allows the plane to get off the ground as quickly as possible and avoid any danger that may be approaching. Another technique used during an emergency takeoff is known as a rolling takeoff. This involves the pilot accelerating down the runway at full power while the plane is still moving, rather than coming to a complete stop before takeoff. This technique is particularly useful when there is a limited amount of runway available or when there is an immediate threat. US pilots are also trained to use a technique known as a rejected takeoff. This involves aborting the takeoff at high speed, often due to a mechanical issue or other emergency. To do this, the pilot must apply maximum braking power and reverse thrust to bring the plane to a stop as quickly and safely as possible. Regardless of which technique is used, emergency takeoffs are a crucial part of a pilot's training and preparation. These techniques allow pilots to react quickly in potentially life-threatening situations, ensuring the safety of both themselves and their passengers. However, these emergency takeoff techniques are not something that pilots rely on every day. In fact, they are quite rare and unlikely to be used. Pilots train for these scenarios and carry out regular emergency simulations to ensure they are prepared if an actual emergency arises. During an emergency takeoff, pilots rely on their knowledge, skills, and experience to make split-second decisions while keeping their calm and staying focused. They must also communicate effectively with their crew to ensure that everyone is aware of what is happening. In addition to the techniques mentioned above, pilots must consider other factors when performing an emergency takeoff. For example, they must take into account the weight and balance of the aircraft, the terrain, and the weather conditions. These factors can impact the performance of the plane, and the pilot must adjust their techniques accordingly. In some cases, the pilot may not have the option to perform an emergency takeoff due to external factors such as air traffic or weather conditions. In these circumstances, the pilot must quickly evaluate their options and make a decision that prioritizes the safety of everyone on board. In conclusion, emergency takeoff techniques are an essential part of a pilot's skill set. While they are rare, pilots must be trained and prepared to respond to emergencies at a moment's notice. By using these techniques and relying on their experience and training, pilots can ensure the safety of their passengers and crew in potentially life-threatening situations. It is worth noting that emergency takeoffs are just one aspect of a pilot's training and responsibilities. Pilots must also undergo rigorous training in various other aspects such as navigation, communication, and aerodynamics to ensure that they are fully prepared to handle any situation that may arise. Furthermore, flight attendants and other airline staff are also trained in emergency procedures, including the actions they must take during an emergency takeoff. This ensures that everyone on board is aware of their role in the event of an emergency and can act accordingly to ensure the safety of all passengers and crew, in the unlikely event that an emergency takeoff is required. It is important for passengers to remain calm and follow the instructions provided by the flight crew. This will help to ensure that the situation is handled safely and efficiently. Finally, it is worth noting that the aviation industry is constantly evolving and improving, with new technologies and procedures being introduced to enhance safety. This includes innovations such as advanced warning systems, more efficient communication methods, and improved emergency training. In conclusion, emergency takeoffs are a crucial aspect of a pilot's training and preparation. While they are rare, pilots must be fully trained and prepared to handle them at any time, ensuring the safety of everyone on board. Through ongoing training, innovation, and collaboration, the aviation industry continues to work towards enhancing safety and providing passengers with the peace of mind they require while traveling.